Hello, everybody.
All right, Mr. Cease is here for domestic battery and destruction of property, scores of 10. What's the state feels appropriate?
Your Honor, the state is asking for $10,000 bail in this case. We did try to contact the victim this morning. We do have a good number. We left a couple of messages, so I feel confident going forward on the case. The state believes that bail is appropriate based on the facts of the case as alleged, as well as her high risk assessment score of 10. Couple that with little to no ties to our community based on her criminal history, which is completely out of California. We know that in 2021, she was convicted of assault with a deadly weapon with force, possible great bodily injury. That was, again, out of California. She went to prison on that offense for 3 years. She was arrested for domestic battery that year. It looks like it didn't result in charges. In 2016, driving on a suspended driver's license. And I tell you that because, again, it's out of California. She was placed on 3 years probation for that offense. And then she's got disorderly conducts in 2011, 2010, both out of California. And then in 1999, driving under the influence case out of California. As I stated, we reached out to the victim several times. We have not heard back from him. Based on that, the state is asking for DAS supervision along with a no contact order per condition of release for the victim. We would also ask for a no firearms or weapons clause and a GPS device based on her lack of ties to our community prior to release.
All right, thank you. Ms. Meyer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, we believe that it would be appropriate to set the conditions as articulated by the state minus the 10% cash option. We have been able to speak with Ms. Macias's mother. I can provide the last 4 digits, which is the 2015, and she could provide that. Part of the reason that the NPRA was higher is that she had neither the ability to validate a contact number or residence. If she had been able to do that, that would have put her at 7 as opposed to 10. We were able to validate that she has an address on Silver Lake. Her mother helped her move in there and was able to provide that information as well. She's been here for the last 7 months working at Chewy's. Her probation ended at Chewy's after 3 months. She was successful on parole in the case cited by Ms. Cossow on behalf of the state, which I think is important because that compliance does tend to go to her ability to comply with pretrial services. And in this case, there is not the, I would argue that some of the aggregators that are present with other cases today are not present necessarily in this case. Certainly there was an allegation of a domestic disturbance. That allegation led to the officers being invited into the home. There was talk of a scratching and certainly yelling and some disturbance in the home. I believe that under the Valdez-Jimenez, that is able to be ameliorated by that GPS, DAS, and the statutory no contact order. I think in this case, if Ms. Macias is not released on some conditions that she can make, that the community is actually at greater risk because when she gets out, she will have lost her job. Her housing will be in jeopardy. And what we know from studies is that where that is true, where that instability exists, there's actually a greater risk to the community and a reduced ability to comply. So we would ask for those conditions as cited by the state absent monetary bail, given the alleged facts, the context of the criminal history and the ties to this community. On that, I submit.
So let's go back to the NPRA. You believe you've been able to lower some of those points. One for employment, right? Remove that point. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. At Chewy's, confirmed by.
So that makes her 9. And then you believe she is a Nevada resident?
Yes, Your Honor, we have an address. I don't want to provide it on the record unless the court would ask for it at Silver Lake. And her mother.
That's been less than 6 months, so that takes another point off. So you believe she's an 8 then on the tool. And what about the cell phone?
Mother was also able to confirm that.
So she's a 7. is what you
And
believe.
she's been at the residence at Silver Lake for 8 months. So I believe that takes off an additional.
All right. So she's a 6.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, based upon that, I do believe despite what I heard from the state, I do believe Ms. Casa.
Well, I did just want to point out that Silver Lake address is with the defendant or with the victim, excuse me. So if there is a no contact order, she cannot go back to that residence.
Does she have an alternative place to reside?
That is the location of the incident, but that is her address. He has a separate residence. He was at her domicile.
No. We both looked at the same.
Ms. Macias, or I'm sorry, Ms. Casa.
Your Honor, from the facts of the case, it says that he was destroying or she was destroying his property. So I have to assume that that's his address.
His is 95940, mine's 5930.
They're different apartments within the same complex.
Okay. I do believe I'm constitutionally compelled. So I'm certainly concerned by everything the state's indicated, but I think I'm constitutionally compelled to release defendant on her own recognizance, no contact with the victim, no firearms, chicken with Diaz, order bail laws, make all court appearances, be here next week on the 17th at 9 a.m. for arraignment on the criminal complaint.
Yes, sir.
Alan and then Enriquez Rios.
May I have just one moment, Your Honor?
Sure.
Thank you. They're gonna write down everything for you when you go. Don't contact him. Not by phone, not by Facebook, not by text. Don't go to
You
his
okay?
apartment.
Oh, I got it.
Walk a
the
different
other
way.
camera.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Morning, sir. Are you Jared Adam Mertz?
I am.
Okay. Now calling prosecutor order number 24-23003, the people versus Jared Adam Mertz. This is the date and time set for an arraignment. Mr. Mertz, it's my understanding that you do not wish to speak to an attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
All right. So you understand that you have been charged with a misdemeanor and you have the right to speak to a court-appointed attorney this morning. You understand that?
Yeah, I gotta represent myself.
Okay, just so you know, if there are any legal questions that you have, I cannot answer them. I can't be an attorney for you. So if you have any questions about any of this, I would recommend that you speak with the attorney before you proceed with your arraignment.
No, it's fine. I can't afford it.
All right, Mr. Mertz, it is alleged that on or about October 11th, 2024, you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon Ian Gregory Mertz, a resident or former resident of your household. This is a misdemeanor that is punishable with a maximum punishment of 1 year imprisonment and or a $1,000 fine. This is a domestic violence second. Do you understand the charge that you've been charged with this morning?
I understand that I've been charged with it.
Okay.
I didn't do anything though. All
right.
myself.
Hold on, Mr. Mertz. Everything that we say right now is being recorded, okay? So I don't want you to say anything about the case because I don't want it to be used against you later. It's for your own protection. All right, because you stated that you understand the charges against you, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf.
I'm okay with that.
Mr. Mertz, you currently reside at, is that correct?
I do.
Okay. Whose house is that? Is that yours? Is that your brother's, family, other family member?
That's my parents, so I'm staying there. I was really hoping that I could just please go back there because otherwise I'm not gonna have anywhere to go.
All right, well, one of the conditions of bond that I'm going to order is that you're not to return to that address. So you're gonna have to find somewhere else to reside so long as this case is pending. But before we get to your other bond conditions, are you currently employed?
Yeah.
Okay, where are you employed at?
Doing construction. Do you need the company name?
No, it's okay. Mr. Mertz, do you have any prior criminal history?
What are we talking here?
Have you been convicted?
So I went through domestic violence program again and learned my lesson, you know.
All right, so other than the prior domestic violence, do you have any other prior criminal convictions?
Nothing physical. I've gotten a little bit of trouble here and there with just random stuff. I've had it all taken care of. I have a few cases pending right now. I have two cases open right now. I have one against me, someone that assaulted me. So I have you said 18th district court. So there's a case open for misuse of a communications device against me with an X.
Is that in Westland?
Yeah, in Westland. So yeah, there is a bond for the next case. Till next case. I believe my next date is on the 22nd.
Detective, is there anything that you want to note regarding bond? Anything else?
No, Your Honor, not at this time.
All right. I'll note I did just conduct a swear-to in this matter shortly before the arraignment here. We'll note this is a domestic violence second offense. And I'll also note that Mr. Mertz is currently on bond out of the 18th District Court. As such, I do not think that a personal bond is warranted. In order to ensure the safety of the community, I'm going to order a bond in the amount of $5,000 cash or surety. I will allow a 10% provision. I'm also ordering the following conditions. Mr. Mertz, you are not to have any contact with Ian Mertz. You are not to return to in Rochester, Michigan. I understand that is your residence, so I will allow you to go back there one time with the police officer. But after that, you will have to reside elsewhere so long as this case is pending. Do you understand that?
I understand.
All right, you will personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You will not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You will immediately notify the court in writing any change to your address or telephone number. You shall not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. You shall refrain from using any alcohol, any form of THC, marijuana, illegal drugs, or abusing any legally prescribed medication. You will submit to random testing, which will include 1 ETG per week, as well as 1 controlled substance urinalysis test per month. I'm also placing you under the supervision of the 52-3 District Court's Bond Compliance Division, which means that if you post bond, you must contact the 52-3 District Court and get signed up with their Bond Compliance Division within 24 hours of your release. Lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity. So, Mr. Mertz, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond? Excuse me.
The testing, well, you said I can't ask. The testing, I mean, it's fine, but I was gonna go up north.
Okay, well, and I'm not stopping you from going up north, but like I said, you will have to get set up for testing. So when you contact the 52-3 District Court to get signed up with bond compliance, you can find out if there's testing facilities up north that you can go to, so you don't have to come back downstate.
But can I ask you what the reasonable cause, like for me, is? Like, what evidence is there against me that makes me incriminated? Like, what's?
Well, Mr. Mertz, this is obviously not your trial. I am not the fact finder here. I am not the one trying the case. You will have your day in court and you are innocent until proven guilty. But for purposes of today, I set your bond at $5,000 cash or surety, or 10%, because this is the second alleged offense involving assaultive behavior, and because you're currently on bond out of another court. right? And I can't tell you what will happen, but because you picked up another criminal charge while you're on bond, you could have issues now with your other case in Westland. I don't know what'll happen, but I'm just telling you. So that is why I set bond the way I did. You will obviously have an opportunity to address bond at your next hearing, but you will have to post $500 cash to be released. So, Mr. Mertz, do you have any other questions?
I figured you guys $500 to get out of here.
Yes.
I can't call anybody. I got no money in my account. How does that work?
Well, I don't know if detective he'd be able to make a call before being taken
Yes, Your
over
Honor,
to.
we can make those arrangements here. You can make some phone calls.
Okay. Mr. Mertz, you'll have the opportunity to make a phone call. If you post bond, make sure you abide by all the bond conditions that I just read to you, and you're gonna get a copy of the bond form that explains everything.
My brother texted me.
Hold on, Mr. Mertz, again, I don't want you to say anything about this case. I don't want it to be used against you later. So that is all for today. Mr. Mertz, I wish you the best of luck.
Oh, you too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.